Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz is a lot of things: a former coach and teacher, a dedicated father, and a beloved husband. And while every marriage has its own quirks, the life that Tim and his wife Gwen share is truly unique. It's no secret that Vice President turned last-minute Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris was left practically scrambling to pick a running mate. So many choices, so little time. But seemingly overnight, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz seamlessly set himself apart from the pack after a July 23rd appearance on MSNBC when he said, iconically,
"These guys are just weird."
Of course, he was referring to both Donald Trump and Trump's vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance. Soon after, all eyes were on the unassuming Minnesotan and his penchant for using such a low-key insult to swiftly knock any adversary off their game. Merely 14 days later, Harris tapped Walz as her running mate. Since then, Walz has positioned himself as that of a veteran, a public school teacher, a coach, and perhaps most important of all, a family man. Alas, it appears there are a few strange facts about Tim and Gwen Walz's marriage. We would be absolutely remiss not to immediately address the rather strange circumstances around which Tim and Gwen Walz married, aka the flimsy classroom partition that started it all. As deeply committed educators, the couple first met while, you guessed it, educating. The only drawback to their first year of teaching was that they didn't actually have their own classroom. Gwen recalled to NPR News, "Tim and I even shared a classroom with just a divider right down the middle when we were teaching in Nebraska. Fortunately, the tight quarters worked in the budding teacher's favor." During an interview with the Minnesota Star-Tribune, Gwen confessed she became smitten with Tim after observing the way in which Tim interacted with and taught his students. Petition to bring back classroom dividers, anyone? And while Walz was known as a pretty beloved teacher, when it comes to his politics, he has no chill. In a good way. On Instagram, he shared a video of himself delivering what can only be described as an enthusiastic locker room pep talk merely 2 days after officially being named as Kamala Harris's running mate. His most iconic quote,
"Sleep with your dad, you got work to do."
As it turns out, it appears Walz took the same approach on his first date with his future wife. During an interview with the Minnesota Star-Tribune, Gwen revealed that Tim was a tad overzealous about their romance right out of the gate. The story goes that the pair's first date consisted of a meal at Hardee's, followed by a trip to the movie to see the crime thriller Falling Down. According to Gwen, however, even after rebuffing a kiss from her eager date, he confidently replied, "That's fine, but you should know, I'm going to marry you." Say it with us. Couple goals. Just like teachers have substitutes who fill in for them when they're sick, Gwen Walz has also subbed in for her governor husband. Case in point, the time Tim came down with a nasty case of laryngitis. The story goes that way back in 2006, the then aspiring Minnesota governor was set to speak at a campaign fundraiser in Mankato, Minnesota, but fell ill at the last moment. Fortunately, Tim's ever-supportive wife swooped in a la "I have no fear, Gwen is here" moment and saved the day. Still, it appears Gwen remains rather humble when it comes to her assistance. During an episode of the What If It Works podcast, she explained the couple's dynamic, saying, "We have always worked as a partnership. We are still one another's closest advisors." While Tim and Gwen Walz appear to have a marriage full of love and admiration, the couple did recently raise a few eyebrows when they opted to greet each other in a rather unconventional way. Yep, that's right. During Tim's first inaugural rally with Kamala Harris, Tim and Gwen opted to keep it strictly business with nothing more than a firm handshake. To make matters worse, merely steps away, Kamala and Second Gentleman of the United States, Douglas Emhoff, were witnessed enjoying a passionate smooch. As one can imagine, many Republicans immediately took the married couple to task, with Donald Trump Jr. notably weighing in. He tweeted, "Totally normal to greet your wife with a firm handshake and a bro hug backslap. Tim Walz isn't weird at all, guys." It should be noted, however, that Donald J. Trump has also been caught publicly greeting his wife with nothing more than a handshake.